You know what separates the person who will succeed from the one who won't? It's not talent. It's not luck. It's not even hard work, though, that matters. It's something much simpler. The ability to act as if you've already become the person you're working with. That's it. So simple, yet so few people understand this powerful truth. Most folks wait to feel successful before they act successful. But that's backward thinking. The truth is you must act successful first, and then the feelings and results will follow. Look at any truly successful person. They didn't wait until they had the big house to start carrying themselves with confidence. They didn't wait until they had the perfect job to start being professional. No, they practiced being that successful person long before the world recognized them as such. And that's exactly what I want to talk to you about today. When you act like you've already achieved your dreams, you send powerful signals to your mind and to the world around you. You begin to make different choices. You speak differently. You walk differently. You think differently. And those small changes lead to big results over time. It's a simple concept that can totally transform your life if you apply it starting today. So many people are waiting for permission, waiting for the perfect time, waiting until they feel ready. But here's the truth. There is no waiting in success. There is only doing. And the doing starts with acting as if your dream life is already yours. Think of it this way. If you are already the successful business owner, the healthy person, the confident speaker, the loving parent, whatever it is you want to be, how would you act today? What decisions would you make? What standards would you hold? That's your blueprint. That's your guide for today's actions. The power of acting as if has been studied by psychologists for decades. They call it cognitive behavioral modification. Fancy words for a simple idea. When you act in a certain way, your thoughts and feelings eventually catch up to your action. It's why the old advice to fake it till you make it actually has real science behind it. But I don't want you to fake anything. I want you to rehearse. There's a big difference. Faking means pretending to be something you're not. Rehearsing means practicing to become what you know you can be. When an actor prepares for a role, they don't just read the script once and show up on set. No, they practice. They embody the character. They study their mannerisms, their way of speaking, their outlook on life. Then they become that person so convincingly that we believe them on screen. You need to do the same with your future self. Your brain doesn't always know the difference between what's real and what's vividly imagined. That's why visualization works for top athletes. That's why rehearsing success works for top business people. And that's why it will work for you if you commit to it. The truth is, your habits tell the real story of who you think you are. Not your words, not your intentions, not your wishes, your habits. A person who sees themselves as fit doesn't have to force themselves to exercise. A person who sees themselves as a top performer doesn't have to be pushed to do quality work. They just do it because that's the standard they've set. Look at your daily habits. What story do they tell about who you think you are? Be honest. If your habits show someone who procrastinates, who takes the easy way out, who avoids challenges, then that's who you currently believe yourself to be. The good news is that you can change that story starting today. Most people live with a gap between where they are and where they want to be, and they feel that gap every day. They feel the frustration, the disappointment, the regret. But instead of closing that gap through action, they widen it with excuses. I'm not ready yet. The timing isn't right. I don't have enough money. Asking next time. Those excuses keep them stuck right where they are. Acting as if you've already achieved your dreams isn't about ignoring reality. It's about creating a new reality. It's about behaving in ways that close that gap between your current self and your future self. It's about borrowing the mindset of the person you want to become. There's nothing magical about success. It's simply the result of consistent, daily actions aligned with your biggest goals. But here's what most people miss. Those actions come from your identity, from who you believe yourself to be. Change that, and you change everything. Think about the compound effect. Small changes, consistently applied, led to massive results over time. $1 invested daily becomes thousands through the power of compound interest. One healthy meal choice daily transforms your health over months. One page written daily becomes a book by year's end. But it all starts with that first step, that first action, that first decision to act as if it's the compound effect of acting like you've already achieved your dreams that eventually turns those dreams into your everyday reality. Most people overestimate what they can do in a day, but they drastically underestimate what they can accomplish in a year of consistent daily actions. Have you ever noticed how successful people carry themselves differently? There's a certain way they walk into a room. There's a certain way they shake your hand. There's a certain way they engage in conversation. They don't do these things because they're successful. They're successful because they've been doing these things all along. Successful people make eye contact. They stand up straight. They speak with confidence. They listen attentively. They take responsibility. They focus on solutions instead of problems. They're not perfect. Nobody is, but their default behaviors reflect the success they've created or are creating. And you can adopt these same behaviors today. You don't need permission. You don't need to wait. You just need to start acting in alignment with the person you want to become. Success leaves clues, and one of the biggest clues is how successful people present themselves to the world. Your body language shapes how others see you. But more importantly, it shapes how you see yourself. Stand tall, and you'll feel more confident. Smile, and you'll feel more positive. Speak clearly, and you'll think more clearly. Your physical state and your mental state are connected. Use that connection to your advantage. The words you use matter more than you might think. Your vocabulary shapes your thinking, and your thinking shapes your actions. Successful people use a different vocabulary than unsuccessful people. They don't say, "I'll try." They say, "I will." They don't say, "I have to." They say, "I get to." They don't say, "That's impossible." They say, "Let's figure out how." Start paying attention to your words. Are they the words of a victim or a victor? Are they the words of someone making excuses or someone making progress? Are they the words of someone who believes in abundance or someone trapped in scarcity thinking? Change your words, and you begin to change your world. It starts with eliminating phrases like, "I can't," "I don't know how," and "it's too hard." Replace them with, "I can," "I'll learn how," and "I'll find a way." This isn't just positive thinking. It's creating a mindset that looks for solutions instead of being stopped by problems. Your mind is always listening to your words. Make sure you're telling it a story of capability and possibility, not limitation and doubt. The achiever's vocabulary is one of action, responsibility, and confidence. Adopt it now, before your circumstances have changed, and watch how your circumstances begin to follow your words. There's an old saying, dress for the job you want, not the job you have. There's profound wisdom in that simple advice. How you present yourself matters, not because appearance is everything, but because how you dress affects how you feel and perform. When you dress with care, when you present yourself as someone worthy of respect and success, you begin to act in ways that earn that respect and success. It's not about wearing expensive clothes. It's about taking pride in your appearance in a way that reflects the successful person you're becoming. Think about how the successful version of you in your field dresses. What's their level of care and attention to detail? What message does their appearance send? Now start dressing more like that person today. You'll be amazed at how differently you carry yourself and how differently others respond to you. This isn't about superficial judgments. It's about alignment. When your outer presentation aligns with your inner aspirations, you remove one more barrier between your current self and your future self. You create congruence between who you are and who you're becoming. Your environment shapes you more than you might realize. Look around your home, your office, your car. What do these spaces say about who you are and what you value? Are they environments that support the person you're becoming, or do they keep you tied to old habits and limitations? Successful people create environments that reinforce their goals and values. They remove temptations that pull them off course. They surround themselves with tools and reminders that keep them focused. They organize their spaces for maximum effectiveness. You don't need to wait until you've made it to create an environment of success. Start today. Clean up your workspace. Organize your home. Put inspirational reminders where you'll see them. Create a space that reflects your aspirations, not just your past. Your physical environment is a reflection of your mental environment. Chaos outside often means chaos inside. Order outside helps create order inside. What small changes could you make today to your environment that would support your biggest goals? Make those changes, even if they're small. One of the clearest ways to act as if you've achieved your dreams is to raise your standards now. Successful people have higher standards than average people. They expect more from themselves. They don't accept mediocrity in areas that matter to them. What are your standards for your work, for your health, for your relationships, for your personal growth? Are they the standards of someone who's playing small or someone who's playing to win? Are they the standards that will get you where you want to go? Discipline is remembering what you want. It's maintaining those higher standards even when it's inconvenient. It's doing the right thing even when no one is watching. It's following through on your commitments to yourself with the same seriousness you give to commitments made to others. The truth is, we don't rise to the level of our goals. We fall to the level of our systems. And systems are built on standards. When you raise your standards and stick to them, you create systems that automatically move you towards success. You no longer have to rely solely on motivation, which comes and goes. You now have standards that guide your actions regardless of how you feel on any given day. Successful people don't make different decisions because they're successful. They're successful because they make different decisions. They decide based on their values and long-term goals, not just immediate comfort or convenience. They say no to good opportunities so they can say yes to great ones. How does the successful version of you make decisions? Do they decide based on fear or confidence? Do they play it safe or take calculated risk? Do they prioritize growth or comfort? Start making decisions today as if you've already achieved the success you desire. Decision making is a skill you can develop. It starts with clarity about what matters most to you. When you're clear on your values and goals, decisions become simpler. Not always easy, but simpler. You ask yourself, does this choice move me toward the person I want to become or away from that person? Let that question guide your decisions today. One of the biggest differences between successful people and unsuccessful people is how they handle temporary failure. And make no mistake, everyone fails sometimes. The difference is in the response to that failure. When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, how does the accomplished version of you respond? Do they blame others? Do they make excuses? Do they give up? Or do they take responsibility, learn the lesson, and keep moving forward? Resilience isn't something some people are born with and others aren't. It's a skill you build through practice. And the practice comes from responding to setbacks like the successful person you're becoming would respond. They don't deny the reality of the situation. They don't wallow in self-pity. They acknowledge what happened, extract the learning, and focus on the next productive step. Setbacks are part of every success story, every single one. There are no overnight successes, only overnight discoveries of years of persistent effort. When you act as if you've already achieved your dreams, you handle setbacks as temporary obstacles, not permanent roadblocks. Your self-trust is built or broken in the small promises you make to yourself each day. When you say you'll work out tomorrow and you don't, you break trust with yourself. When you promise to start that project and you procrastinate, you break trust with yourself. These small broken promises accumulate into a belief that you can't count on yourself. Successful people keep their word, especially to themselves. They know that self-trust is the foundation of all achievement. They don't make commitments lightly, but when they do, they follow through. They understand that integrity isn't just about being honest with others. It's about being honest with yourself. Start rebuilding that self-trust today. Make small promises to yourself and keep them. Don't promise to work out for an hour if you know you might not follow through. Promise to work out for 10 minutes and then do it. Small promises build the confidence to make and keep bigger promises later. Your future self will thank you for the promises you keep today. Each time you follow through, you're telling yourself that you're someone who does what they say they'll do. That identity becomes a powerful driver of continued success. You've heard it said that you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. There's tremendous truth in that. Your social circle shapes your beliefs, your standards, your ambitions, and even your daily habits. Look at who you're spending time with. Are they people who lift you up or bring you down? Are they people who challenge you to grow or enable you to stay comfortable? Are they people who share your values and support your goals, or people who subtly undermine them? Successful people are intentional about their associations. They seek out mentors and peers who are where they want to be. They limit time with those who drain their energy or discourage their dreams. This isn't about abandoning old friends. It's about being mindful of who influences you and how. If you want to act as if you've already achieved your dreams, seek out people who are living those dreams, spend time in their presence, learn from them, absorb their mindset. You'll find that success leaves clues in the habits, attitudes, and approaches of those who have achieved what you want to achieve. Money habits reveal a lot about who you think you are. People who feel worthy of abundance tend to manage their money differently than those who don't. They pay themselves first. They invest in their future. They track their spending. They respect money without worshiping it. How does the financially successful version of you handle money? Start adopting those habits now, even if your income hasn't changed yet. Save a percentage of every dollar that comes to you. Invest in yourself and your education. Eliminate frivolous spending that doesn't align with your values. The amount of money you have matters less than what you do with it. Someone who manages $100 wisely is better prepared for wealth than someone who mismanages $100,000. The habits you practice with little will follow you. Financial freedom comes from financial discipline. And that discipline is something you can start practicing today, regardless of your current financial situation. Act as if you already have the wealth you desire by treating your current resources with respect and foresight. Time is the great equalizer. No matter who you are, you get the same 24 hours each day. What separates the achiever from the average is how they use those hours. Successful people guard their time fiercely. They know it's their most precious resource. How does the accomplished version of you manage time? They prioritize activities that move them toward their goals. They eliminate or delegate low-value tasks. They batch similar activities together for efficiency. They create systems that save time. They say no to things that don't align with their top priorities. Start managing your time today, like the successful person you're becoming. Create a morning routine that sets you up for productivity. Plan your days in advance. Focus on your most important tasks during your peak energy hours. Eliminate distractions during deep work. Remember, you don't find time for important things. You make time. And what you make time for shows what you truly value. If you say your health is important but never make time for exercise, your actions are telling a different story than your words. Align your time management with your stated priorities. Successful people never stop learning. They're constantly growing, constantly expanding their knowledge and skills. They don't learn just for the sake of learning. They learn with purpose and application in mind. The version of you who has already achieved your dreams continues to invest in personal development. They read books in their field. They take courses to sharpen their skills. They seek feedback to improve. They remain curious and open to new ideas. Start learning today like the expert you're becoming. Dedicate time each day to growth. Read the books the top performers in your field recommend. Listen to podcasts that expand your thinking. Practice the skills that will make you more valuable in your area of focus. Learning compounds like interest. A small investment each day leads to tremendous growth over time. The knowledge and skills you develop become assets that no one can take from you. They become part of who you are and open doors to opportunities you can't yet see. Resilience, the ability to bounce back from setbacks, isn't something you're born with or without. It's a skill you build through practice. And like any skill, it improves with intentional effort. Successful people aren't necessarily luckier or faced with fewer challenges. They've simply developed the resilience muscle through repeated use. They've learned to frame setbacks as temporary and specific rather than permanent and pervasive. Start building your resilience today by changing how you talk to yourself when things go wrong. Instead of everything is falling apart, try this specific thing didn't work out as planned. Instead of I'm a failure, try that approach failed, but I can try a different one. Challenge yourself in small ways each day to build this resilience muscle. Take cold showers. Try something you're not already good at. Have difficult conversations you've been avoiding. Each time you push through discomfort, you're strengthening your ability to handle bigger challenges later. There's a certain peace that comes from living in alignment with your highest vision for yourself. When you act as if you've already achieved your dreams, you eliminate the internal conflict that comes from knowing you could be doing better. Most people live with a constant, low-grade anxiety that comes from not doing what they know they should be doing. They procrastinate on important tasks. They avoid difficult conversations. They stay in their comfort zone when growth requires stepping out. And every time they choose comfort over growth, they create internal tension. But when you consistently act in ways that align with your highest aspirations, you experience what psychologists call congruence, your actions matching your ideals. This congruence brings a sense of peace and confidence that no external circumstance can provide. This inner peace becomes a competitive advantage. While others are distracted by doubt and indecision, you move forward with clarity and conviction. While others waste energy on regret and worry, you channel your energy into productive action. So here's my challenge to you. Not tomorrow, not when conditions are perfect, not when you feel more confident. Today, pick one habit of the person you're becoming and begin practicing it immediately. Maybe it's waking up an hour earlier. Maybe it's planning your day the night before. Maybe it's saving 10 of each paycheck. Maybe it's speaking with more confidence. Whatever it is, choose one thing and commit to it for the next 30 days. Don't try to change everything at once. That's a recipe for failure. Focus on one key habit that will create momentum in your life. Master it. Make it part of who you are. Then add another. Remember, acting as if you've already achieved your dreams isn't about pretending or being fake. It's about rehearsing the identity of your future self until it becomes your current reality. It's about closing the gap between who you are and who you want to be through consistent daily action. The person you want to be is waiting for you to become them. They're looking back at you from the future, hoping you'll make the choices today that will allow you to become them tomorrow. Will you disappoint them, or will you start living up to their example? The choice is yours, as it always has been. But now you understand the principle that can transform your life. Act as if you've already achieved your dreams, and over time, those dreams will become your reality. Most people will hear this message and nod in agreement. They'll say, that makes sense, and then change nothing about their daily actions. But I believe you're different. I believe you're one of the rare few who will take this principle and apply it starting today. Because that's what successful people do. They don't just consume information. They apply it. They don't just plan. They act. They don't just hope for a better future. They create it through their daily choices. So ask yourself, what would the successful version of me do today? How would they handle this situation? What standards would they maintain? What decisions would they make? Then do those things. Be that person. Not someday, but today. The gap between knowing and doing is wider than the gap between ignorance and knowledge. Most people know what they should do. They just don't do it consistently. The achievers among us are simply those who have closed that knowing-doing gap through daily, disciplined action. Starting today, be a doer, not just a knower. Act as if your dreams have already come true, and watch as reality begins to catch up to your action. The future you desire isn't something that happens to you. It's something that happens because of you, because of the choices you make and the actions you take each day. I can't promise it will be easy. Growth rarely is. But I can promise it will be worth it. The person you'll become through this process is the greatest reward. The achievements are wonderful, but the real prize is who you become on the journey. So many people are waiting for permission to live their best life. They're waiting for the perfect time, the perfect circumstances, the perfect feelings, but that perfect moment never comes. There's only now and the choices you make in this moment. Give yourself permission today to act as if you've already become the person you aspire to be. Walk like them, talk like them, work like them, think like them. The gap between pretending and being is smaller than you might imagine, and it's bridged by consistent action. Remember that your actions aren't just creating your future. They're revealing your current beliefs about yourself. If you truly believe you're capable of greatness, your actions will reflect that belief. If deep down you doubt yourself, your actions will reveal that doubt. Change your actions first, and your beliefs will follow. Act confident, and you'll become confident. Act disciplined, and you'll become disciplined. Act generous, and you'll become generous. Act successful, and success will find you. The world responds not to what you want or what you know, but to what you do consistently. Let your actions speak so loudly that others can't help but notice the transformation occurring in your life. Be the walking embodiment of the future you desire. Today is the first day of the rest of your life. You can't change yesterday, but you have complete control over what you do in the next 24 hours. Will you use them wisely? Will you use them in a way that pulls your dreams closer to reality? Will you act as if those dreams have already come true? The choice, as always, is yours. But now you know the secret that the most successful among us have always known. You don't have to wait to feel successful to act successful. Act successful first, and the feelings, results, and recognition will inevitably follow. So start today. Start now. Not with grand gestures, but with small, consistent actions that align with your highest vision for yourself. Those small actions, performed consistently over time, will transform your life in ways you can hardly imagine. The future belongs to those who prepare for it today. The success you seek is being created by the actions you take right now. Act as if you've already achieved your dreams, and watch as those dreams gradually, then suddenly become your reality. Thank you for your time and attention. Now go out there and become the person you've always known you could be. The world is waiting for your unique gifts, and it's time to deliver them with the confidence and capability of someone who has already arrived at their destination. Because in many ways, once you commit to the journey with your whole heart, you have.